What's going on, kings and queens? My name is Fadie, Areny, World King here with Team World Nation, and in today's video I want to share with you guys a new software that I have been using for about a month now, and I am totally in love with this software and the actual team behind the software as well. Now, this software is an options order flow software, but it is a lot more than that, and I will show you that here shortly. Now, I used to be a heavy Cheddar Flow user, and I still love Cheddar Flow, the software, and I have nothing against Cheddar Flow and the Cheddar Flow team. However, I have found something that is A, more in-depth and far superior, B, less money on your bank account, and C, has access to data in more markets such as Forex, cryptocurrency, stocks, and also options and futures. So this is a more involved software. It is a lot easier to use once you actually know how to use it. And so my goal in this video today is to share with you this software and to also give you a little bit of a background as to what you are looking at when you are in your dashboard. So without further ado, let's hop right into my computer and take a look at the Insider Finance software. So the first thing that we're looking at here is our flow dashboard. So this is going to be the default screen that you are going to land on every single time you log in. Now we're going to start here with the top presets. You can see here that the system is loaded with actionable presets. Now, these presets do different things, and you can also customize the presets. So let me show you what these presets do and how they actually change the dashboard. So if we were to click on actionable presets and click on equities, you'll see here that the equities dashboard here updates, and our real-time option flow updates, as well as our smart market insight by ticker. Now, if we go and we click on unusual, this will also now update, and you can see here that the top tickers change, and that's because it's based on the actual filters that are set up for the unusual actionable preset. Now, if we click on sweeps here, you'll see that also the top tickers changes, as well as the real-time option flow as well. So every time we click on a new preset, you'll see that there are different tickers, there are different types of symbols and tickers that show up here, and that is all based on the filter that we are currently in. Now, I'll show you what those filters are, but I want to also show you the ETFs and the Moonshot, okay? So these are the quick actionable presets. You're going to be swapping between these most likely on a regular basis, and you're most likely going to find one or two of these that really work for you and that you really want to follow. Now, I like to use unusual option activity. I like to look at also momentum, and I also enjoy looking at moonshots, okay? So let's take a look at what each of these are actually filtering. So if we go into unusual and we click on custom, okay, this will now show us what we're actually filtering under unusual. So we are filtering for unusual trade types, of course, and we are filtering stocks, out of the money, the ticker flow, momentum. None of these are changing, so the only thing we're really filtering for is unusual trade activity, okay? When we go ahead and we look at momentum and we click on custom, you'll see here that momentum is right here filtering momentum by 2 times or more. So momentum is tickers with large volume relative to their 5-day average, okay? So this is 2 times more than the relative volume for their 5-day average. So this generally means that the volume is far greater than the last 5 days, and the average that the last 5 days is letting us know. So when we're looking at the momentum here, this is a great signal here because momentum trades, generally speaking, again, the point of momentum trades is that there is a lot of action happening. There's a lot of movement happening. And as more and more volume happens in a particular asset, generally speaking, that asset is going to move. Now, this isn't determining whether that move is up or down. So I just want you to know that we will look at here in a little bit later part of this video. But I just wanted to go over what these particular filters are showing us. So again, these are just momentum filters. It's showing us stocks right now that are, or assets right now that are specifically showing a lot of volume. So you can see here multiple of daily average. MTG is 4 times the daily average. TLRY 4 times as well. So you can see these are assets right now that are trading momentum-wise far greater than the last 5 days daily average. Now, the last one that I like to look at is moonshots. Now, moonshots here are filtered down by looking at expiration dates that are ultra short, short, and medium. Okay, so right here you can see ultra short is under a week. Okay, short is 1 week to 1 month, and then medium is 1 to 3 months. Okay, so these are option contracts that expire 3 months or less. Okay, so these are generally speaking are more so, they call them moonshots because these are higher risk. When you buy options with lower expiration, with shorter expirations, what you're doing is you're decreasing your probability of being right, okay? It's much easier to be right on a 1 year or a 2 year option contract than it is to be right on a 1 week contract or a 2 month contract, right? So it's very, very important that you understand the expirations do matter, and the shorter the expiration, the less time decay there is because it's already, essentially coming to the end of expiration. However, what you're looking at is a contract that, again, has a lower probability of being successful, and that's because you have a lot less time to decay till the expiration, okay? Now, this is also filtering for under $3, okay? So the contract price is under $3. You can see here that Moonshots is only filtering for stocks. Now, you can change that to also include ETFs. And you can see here that out of the money is showing us 10% out of the money, okay? So this is very, very important. So this is more than 10% out of the money. So that means that we want to actually filter out any types of assets that don't have out of the money premiums being bought at more than 10%. So we want only more than 10%. Anything under 10%, we're not really interested in, because anything more than 10% generally means that someone is really, or, obviously the market, institutions are really, really looking at an asset that is going to move very, very far from its current prices. So when you're buying something out of the money, right, you're anticipating that the price of the asset is going to go past the out of the money price, right? Whether it's a put or a call, when you're buying out of the money, you're anticipating that prices are going to go towards your actual option strike price. So when looking at this, the next thing here that we're filtering is the ticker flow. So what we're looking for here with Moonshots, you can see we're looking for overwhelmingly bullish and bearish flows based on the percentage of calls or puts. And you can see here we're looking for a 95% or greater, okay, bullish or bearish flow. So that means we're not looking here, when you're looking at moonshots, we're not looking at assets that may have, for example, 70% call flow versus, 30% put flow. We're literally looking for 95% or greater call flow or 95% or greater put flow, okay? So these are, again, this is helping with that momentum and essentially the sentiment of the market, right? We're looking for assets and tickers that the market is literally one way on, meaning that the market fully agrees on this particular asset going in one direction or the other, whether it's a call or whether it's a put, right? Whether it's bullish or bearish. And then the other thing that I would like to do in what I look at is also top positions, but you don't have to put that on. I'll explain what top positions are. Top positions are when the trade size is larger than the open interest, okay? And that generally means that it's an opening order. When you're looking at a top position or an open order, when you see someone opening an order and you can guarantee that that's an open order because the open interest is lower than the actual volume of the day or the size of a particular position, what this is doing is it's alluding to the fact that there is somebody taking a position on a particular asset, which you'll see here is only flowing in one direction, either bullish or bearish. And we're looking at an asset where a lot of traders and the option flow is greater than 10%. And of course, we're only looking at option contracts that expire within 3 months. So again, this is what a moonshot is. So when you're looking at moonshots here, you'll be able to determine what assets you're going to want to look at. Now, that is the actionable presets. Of course, you can always make your own custom one. So I'm going to clear the filters here. We're going to go into custom, and I'm going to go ahead and make one that I like to use. So I like to make unusual option activity. I like to look at calls. Now, it depends on how the market is doing, right? If SPY or, the VIX are looking positive and it's looking like the market's just going to keep going up and it's more bullish, then I'm going to look for calls. If the market is looking more bearish, right, and the VIX is, starting to spike and, the market, the S&P and the rest of the market is dropping in price, I may be actually looking for put flow. So this all depends on how the market is doing. So right now, let's go ahead and click on calls. And I like to also look at ultra short, short, and medium. I like to also do the under $3 price. I'm okay with looking at just stocks. ETFs are great too if you guys are interested in trading those. Just remember that stocks and ETFs essentially execute differently. So ETFs will execute with cash, so you'll actually be able to make cash if you are in the money, whereas with stocks, to be able to make money, you actually have to buy the stocks if you are executing a particular option contract. If it's a call, for example, or if it's a put, you'll have to sell the stock. So ETFs are cash settled, where stocks are obviously settled with the stock. Out of the money, I also like to look at 5, 10, and 20%. So I like to stick with a 5% here. Now for ticker flow, what I want to do is I'm going to look at 80% or greater. For my momentum, I'm okay with looking at a 2 times momentum. And more importantly, what I'm interested in is top positions. I want to make sure that the actual positions that I'm evaluating are positions that I know for a fact are opening orders. Now, the reason why I like to look at top positions is because I can guarantee that the top positions are opening orders, okay? Because a lot of the times you'll see unusual option activity. And for example, the open interest to start the day would be 7,000 contracts. And then you'll see a big order that comes in and it's 1,500 contracts for the day. But you really don't know whether that's a buy, right? Is that an opening order or is that a closing order? Because if there's 7,000 open interest or active contracts on that particular strike price and 1,500 options, trade today in one single trade, we can't with certainty determine whether that was an opening order or a closing order. However, when the size of the actual order is greater than open interest, so let's say open interest is at a 0 and a trade comes in for 500 contracts. Well, we know for a fact that because the day started with 0 active contracts, that 500 contract order is in fact an opening order. And that is why I love the top position filter. So let's take a look at this real-time option flow based on our custom filters. Now you can see here that there are literally only 2 assets that have popped up today, and this is only about 38 minutes into market open today on the 10th of January, okay? So it is Monday. I will say the best time to look at option flow is, in my opinion, Mondays and Friday. And it's usually the best in the first 2 hours of the trading day and the last 2 hours of the trading day. So from about 9:30 to about 11:30 noon Eastern Standard Time, of course, to about 2 to 4, right? So from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. close also is a great time for the option order flow. Generally speaking, between the hours of noon and 2 is lunchtime, so a lot of the actual institutions and, big time investors and traders are usually going out for lunch, so you don't really see a lot of the option flow that really is making a lot of money for traders happening until, again, the beginning of the market, the opening of the market, or the close of the market. And that is also for Friday as well. It's the opening of Friday and the closing of Friday that is very, very important. Now, that's not to say that you can't find winning trades between Tuesday and Thursday. It's just to let you know that you have a higher probability of finding the more successful trades on Monday and Friday, okay? That is just based on my own experience and our research on the actual order flows of the market. So take that lightly, do your own research, of course, and make sure to trade at your own risk. This is not financial advice. However, looking at our assets here now, we can see that TLRY is clearly heating up. And you can see the heat score, which is an internal algorithm that the insider finance software does by looking at all the different aspects of a particular trade and letting us know whether or not it feels it's, a hot trade to look at or something that doesn't really have a huge heat factor. So you can see here that these are all high heat factors. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at these trades. Now, one of the actual tickers is PSTI, and then the other one is TLRY, so Tilray, okay? So you can see here that we have PSTI has a two call contracts that were essentially created for the $2 strike price, okay? So you can see the size of it is 801 on one trade, and then another one was for 400 contracts. And you can see here that open interest, okay, you can see 387 open interest contracts, and so you can, for 100% certainty, you can see that this trade of 400 contracts is an opening trade, because you can't say that this is a closing trade because there isn't enough open interest to start the day to be able to create a 400 contract closing order. So this is 100% an opening order. Okay, so this is something interesting that we're going to want to take a look at. And you can see here's the price that the actual trade occurred at. So both of these trades happened at 35 cents. And you can see it's almost 1,201 contracts. Now, we don't know if this is particularly the same institution or the same trader, but we know that this is over 1,200 contracts that have traded at this particular strike price. You can see what the spot price is, which is $1.77 and $1.78. And you'll be able to see that they have a strike price of $2. Okay, so what this is showing us is that these particular trades here are also sweeps. So a sweep order is essentially when whoever made this order has let their broker know that they want to take every single particular contract. So if they want 801 contracts, they're willing to take all of those contracts at whatever price. They're just sweeping them all in, instead of splitting those orders or essentially, doing those orders at small batches, okay? So a sweep is one of the strongest order types. I know that for a fact. If you see an order being a sweep, that right there is essentially meaning that the person behind those trades is serious about getting into a position, and they're willing to take that position at any cost, and it doesn't matter to them. Now, you can see here that the insider finance system also lets us know how much the actual order cost in terms of the premium. Now, because this is an out of the money option, because the spot price is $1.78 and somebody bought a call option for a $2 strike, and these, by the way, are very, very short term. So these expire here in 11 days on January 2021. So somebody is taking a position that in the next few weeks or next couple weeks that the price of PSTI is going to be over $2. And they've put here on this 801 contract $28,000 behind their trade, and another one here at the 400 contracts is $14,000. Now, why is this significant and important? Well, it's important because when you're buying an out of the money contract, if the price of the asset does not surpass your strike price, okay, your contract at expiration is worthless. So what we're looking at here is we're looking at a trader or an institution, a trade group is taking a position on PSTI and is putting $14,000 of money on the trade, thinking that the actual asset will be worth more than $2 by expiration, okay? And if we look at what the actual price they bought it at, we can take a look at what the break even of this trade is. So the actual break even is $2.35 because we can add the price of the trade to the actual strike price, so $2.35, and that lets us know that whoever took this trade is literally taking a trade, putting over $40,000 into the trade, and they believe that the price of PSTI is going to be higher than $2.35 in the next couple weeks, okay, by January 21st, okay? So that is what a moonshot is, basically. These are short-term, short expiration trades, but these are trades with some momentum. These are trades where people are buying out of the money. Traders are buying out of the money. And a lot of the times, these are great, great trades. And the next thing you'll want to do once you've identified, for example, PSTI, you're going to want to then go ahead and put in PSTI in your charting software and then take a look at the technical analysis, comb through and see what do you think is the catalyst and the reasoning behind the move, because you always want to buy option contracts with a catalyst. Now, sometimes you won't know the catalyst. Somebody else will. For example, when it's somebody who's insider trading, somebody who knows something about a particular company, for example, they know that in the next coming, week or so, some big announcement is going to happen that the market doesn't know about. A lot of the times, these people will buy option contracts because the option contracts make more money on the growth or the decline of an asset than the actual underlying stock does. So what they'll do if they're insider trading is they'll make a trade that, is going to give them a huge return on their investment. And so a lot of the times you will find in this unusual option flow, you'll find trades that you won't know what the catalyst actually is, but you'll find people taking a position unusually in the market, something that doesn't necessarily happen. And a lot of the times, those trades end up becoming huge gainers because somebody actually knew something and they were insider trading. Now, the great thing is once that insider trader actually makes an order on the actual options market, you can actually piggyback on that trade without breaking any laws. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, because you never actually had any insider information. You simply just had the option order flow and you made a decision based on that. So this is a good way to be able to determine what is going on in the market, and this software here allows me to quickly identify these assets in the times that I'm interested in looking at the actual market. And then it allows me to then further do my research. So for example, I can click right now on PSTI and I can actually now go into the ticker research. So automatically it'll start showing me all the actual information on it. We can see the market cap here is 57.5 million. We can see the 200-day moving average is at 325. You can see here there are no puts, right? There's no put flow. So this is a 100% bullish option flow here. This is really, really important to look at. you can see here it'll show you that there are 3 trades. We're at 3.2x on momentum. Average expiration is only 12 days. Out of the money is 12%, and the total contracts is 1,500 contracts with about $53,000 of premium that has been purchased on this particular asset. And one thing that I like to do is right here where it says most recent, you can go in and you can say month. And what this is do is it'll show me the most recent within the last month option flow. And you can see here PSTI is not showing up. There's nothing that has happened within the last month on this asset. So this is something very, very new. This is something that you really want to take a look at. And again, you'll want to now put PSTI inside of your trading view or, your Thinkorswim platform, whatever it is that you use to trade. And you want to now look at the actual technical analysis as well to be able to make your final decision. But this is essentially how we do research on the market, by going into our dashboard and then particularly choosing assets that fall within our filters. So again, let's go ahead and look at TLRY. And you can see the same thing. You'll see a lot more option flow here, of course. And you'll see here that it's an 88% bullish, whereas it's 12% bearish. So this is a really, really good, momentum trade, and also a trade that, where the actual flow, right, is very, very bullish. That means that generally speaking, the majority of the market, right, they agree on the way the price is going to move. They agree that this is a bullish asset, right? Because, it's very evident that most of the flow is all calls and just a small amount of puts. And this is most likely, the small amount of puts is most likely somebody, hedging their trades and, opening up different types of option strategies where they're using both calls and puts, which is very, very normal in the actual options industry. So, when you see 2,000 puts, that's could be somebody who bought 2,000 calls and is, going ahead and, for example, selling puts, right, to offset the calls that they just bought. There's multiple strategies that can happen, but I just want to show you guys how it looks for a different asset. So again, here's TLRY. We can click here and we can go to month, and you'll see this is all the option flow, the smart flow. We can also go to full. And full will show us literally all of the actual option flow. Now, I recommend to use the smart flow because it's automatically already determining which actual trades you need to be looking at. And you can also here filter by and sort by the heat score, which I believe is very, very important. And then you'll just see when this happened. So this happened today. You can see these are all the calls that happened today. You can see they happened at the spot price of $7.11. And then you look at this. At 9:32, it was $7.11. Here we are at 9:46. The spot price is $7.58, $7.63. And all of these strike prices are for $10, $10.50, $9.50, right? So essentially the market is taking a stance that by expiration, and look at these short expirations. This is literally, these contracts expire this Friday, okay, this week. These are some seriously high risk trades. So just understand that essentially people are taking a position in the market that the asset is going to, go up 40% from $7 to $10, okay, which is a pretty big increase in price. And they're taking a position that this increase in price is going to happen in literally this week, okay? Now that's a high risk trade. You're more likely to probably take this trade. This is a better trade, in my opinion, because you're giving yourself more time. So you can see here, this trader here has taken a position with an expiration of February 4th at $10.50, whereas all these other traders here are expiring, their trades are expiring on the 14th. And, one thing though I want to mention here is these trades are happening with open interest. So the only one that's an opening order here is, well, this one's an opening order right here. So this one at 950, you can see 1,267 options were bought, and for sure, it is an opening order because it's greater than open interest. This one right here as well for 1050 on February 4th, you can see open interest was only 49. And so the size of this order was 929 orders. So you can, with 100% certainty, you can determine that these two orders are opening orders. Whereas these orders right here, okay, you see this one is 904, this one's 828, and you can see that the open interest is 4,133. So we don't know whether or not these are closing orders or opening orders. Now this one though we do. So you can see here this one is a 4,376 contracts were opened at the $10 strike price, and we know that because it's more than the actual open interest of 4,133. So you can see here that it's very important to be able to determine and know how open interest and size of an actual transaction play in your actual trading system. Now, each of you should determine what your trading system is. This video is not a video to tell you how to make any trades. This is simply just showing you how I use it, okay? Now, one other thing you want to pay attention to are dark pool prints. Now, dark pool prints, if you don't know what a dark pool is, dark pools are essentially liquidity pools and places where large institutions are able to trade without it being put on the actual open market. So these are behind the scenes trades between institutions that are occurring. And so dark pool prints are very, very important to pay attention to. It's actually said that about 40% of all stock volume actually doesn't show up on your regular volume indicators because most of it is happening in the dark pools. So being able to see dark pool prints is very, very important. And we can see here different dark pool prints. These are the sizes of the transaction and the amounts, okay? Now, again, this is based on a smart actual filter. You can click full and it'll show you smaller contracts as well. But usually dark pool prints are going to be big contracts, $1 million or above, where they're going to be significant and important. And you can see here 1.1 million. I mean, we can filter by the biggest transactions. So here on 12/17 last year in 2021, you can see $8.5 million traded, and that was over 1 million actual shares of Tilray, and this didn't actually hit your actual, like for example, your TradingView volume indicators or your Thinkorswim or Fidelity or whatever it is that you use. These trades don't actually show up there. So it's important to be able to track the dark pool prints and determine whether or not, these are something are positive to, kind of confirm your trade decision, or are these, showing you a complete opposite view of what's happening in the market. So, I like to look at most recent. So you can see here, there haven't been any dark pool prints since last Friday, of course, but that's just because it was over the weekend. I'm sure tomorrow when we come in here, we'll see some dark pool prints that occurred today on January 10th. But this is important to see. Now, one of the things that how do you tell that these were purchases, or how do you tell that these were the sale of Tilray? Well, one thing that I like to do is I like to look at what the price was at the time they made the purchase. And then when you go and you take a look at what current price is, which is $7.43, we know that these are buy orders, right, that occurred. 1.6 million, 1.4 million, 1.3 million. These are buy orders that occurred because we can see that the price of Tilray is now much higher here today when the market opened on January 10th, okay? So this is very, very important. It's one of the easiest ways to be able to determine whether these were buys or sells, okay? And that's basically looking at what happened to price from the time the actual dark pool printed to the actual time we're looking at the market right now. So again, I can determine, okay, with 100% certainty that these were, okay, buys, okay? These were purchases of the actual stock in the dark pools, and that's because the price of Tilray right now is far higher than the price they bought it at. Okay, you can also take a look at Tilray trends here, so you can see how much, in the last week or so of trading, what has been the call and put flow, and then you can see here how significant it is today, which is very, very important. When you're looking at it, you want to obviously be with the momentum, right? You want to be trading with the whales, and whales in markets generally move together. So that is exactly what we're doing with the Insider Finance tool. Now, there are other layouts you can lay out here. So you can lay out, for example, these different things can change. If you want it to be signals, for example, if you want it to be news, if you want it to be the financials of the company, if you want it to also show the technical analysis. So you can filter through all these different layouts here, and you can do the same for this. So if you wanted to actually have the technical analysis here and the financial data here, for example, you can do that. Okay, so you can fully customize the Insider Finance tool, and it is honestly one of my favorite tools to use. And this is just one little portion, okay, the dashboard and the ticker research that we have gone over. In future videos, I'm going to go over the other sections, which is, of course, we have cryptocurrency. We have also Forex. We have top tickers, which is really, really nice. It's a good, easy screen to take a look at. And we also have news with sentiment. I love this. This is a portion here where our algorithms and our artificial intelligence and machine learning inside of Insider Finance is going and actually analyzing the articles for you. And based on the words in the article and the terms that are being used, it determines whether it's a negative, neutral, or positive sentiment on the particular assets that are being mentioned. So you can quickly see here, Lululemon, latest retailer to get socked by Omicron surge, right? And you can see that's negative. Here's another one on Lululemon, negative, right? So you can see there's been 5 negative news articles that have essentially come out on Lululemon, right? On Lulu. So if you're trading in Lulu right now, right, you want to know this before you go ahead and make any buy orders. And if you have any positions right now, you may want to think of taking some profits, right? So these are all different things inside of Insider Finance. And these are the different aspects of the tool that really set it apart from other option order flows, from other systems out there. And again, we're going to have many, many more videos on Insider Finance's tool, but I wanted to share this quick overview in regards to how to use Insider Finance, how to move about the dashboard, and how to customize it for your trading system. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys enjoyed today's video and you'd like more of these videos, let the YouTube algorithm know you enjoyed it by smashing that like button, and also consider subscribing to Deep Wallets by World King, where we share with you more videos on finance, trading, real estate, business, and marketing, so you and I can both build wealth together. Thank you again for joining me today. Look forward to seeing you at the top. Peace and love.